guys, welcome back to my film and TV channel. We're going to have a look at, I look forward to this. Obviously when I had my old video shop in the 90s in Manchester, this is one of the bigger franchises, and we've got the new one, haven't we? It's informally known as Scream 5, but obviously we'll just call it Scream because it's a reboot of the franchise, but we'll talk about that in a minute. 114 minutes and 18 certificate. Please, if you're new to the channel, please push that notification push. Give us a thumbs up. It'd be great if you enjoy this and tell your friends about it. Of course, we're monetized now, so if you can watch any of the ads or follow any of the links, it does help the channel going forward for this channel. Of course, my sister channel, which looks at football here in the UK with my team, Manchester City. So any help you can give by following the links. If you don't, just press that skip button. But if you can, it will certainly help the channel out if you can watch any of the ads, etc. And if it's something you're interested in, have a watch. I do it sometimes. There's a lot of stuff I skip, but occasionally something takes my eye. Anyway, let's have a talk about Scream. Yeah, 2022, classed as, obviously it wasn't made in 2022, we're only into the middle of January. Slasher film directed by Matt Bettinelli Alpin, my apologies, and excuse me, Tyler Gillett, and written by James Vanderbilt and Guy Busick. Just a $24 million budget. That's not bad, is it, guys? That's quite cheap. So I don't think there's any problem with this making money based on that budget and obviously the feedback it's currently getting. It's a 5th installment, of course, in the Scream film series. They'll build as a relaunch of the film series. Okay, I'm not too sure about that. The film is a direct sequel to Scream 4 2011, and the first in the series, not directed, of course, by the late, great Wes Craven. And it's dedicated to him at the beginning and the end. And it stars Melissa Barrera, Mason Gooding, Jenna Ortega, Jack Quaid, and of course we've got Marley Shelton, Courtney Cox, David Arquette, and Neve Campbell all reprising their roles from previous instalments of the film, of course. And a new killer has donned the ghost face. A new killer or killers. That's the rules, isn't it? And begins targeting a group of teenagers to resurrect secrets from the town's deadly past. And it was released on January the 14th, 2022 in the United States and here in the UK. So it's out to watch at the cinema as I'm recording this. So all these thoughts and scores as at the 24th of January 2022 at 9 a.m. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes, 77% of 236 reviews. That's a lot, are positive, so that's good. Average rating of 6.7 out of 10. Commendable, not outstanding, just very, very good. 181 fresh and 55 rotten. Siddhant Adlaki is fresh. He's from The Observer here in the UK. He said, though it toys with franchise expectations, it delivers on a gnarly, blood-soaked violence that has become less common in modern Hollywood horror. Yeah, possibly. It's a slasher movie. It sort of does what it says on the tin. Setting the stage for a film that is bodily, often ludicrously self-assured in its visual craftsmanship. He liked it. Kevin Mayer, though, he's not too impressed. He's from the Times here in the UK. He was pretty rotten on it. He said, it's impossible not to appreciate the Guess the Killer game that remains the franchise's central and now only draw, but it's crushingly overfamiliar and sadly fright-free. So he got two totally radical sort of thoughts there, haven't you, from one to the other. The consensus of the website, though, the 5th Scream finds the franchise working harder than ever to maintain its meta edge and succeeding surprisingly often. So I say generally positive. The audience are very positive. Rotten Tomatoes audience, as at that date, 4.2 out of 5. So that's over 8 out of 10, and that's similarly replicated in the Internet Movie Database when we have a look at that in a minute. The Metacritic site, the critics there use an average, of course. They've got 60 out of 100, so not quite as impressed. That's based on 48 critics, and it scores anywhere between 50 and 93. The Hollywood Reporter's David Rooney only give it 50, so only give it halfway mark. He said, sure, there's some fun in all that meta playfulness, but also a facetiousness that wears thin and intrudes on the killing spree, making me often wish I was watching any one of the superior movies being referenced. Variety's Owen Gleeman, though, he's a bit more positive. He gave it 70 out of 100. He said, the new Scream is about as good as Scream 2 was. It keeps the thrill of the original Scream bouncing in the air like a blood-drenched balloon, but the film is basically a set of variations on a very old sleight-of-hand fear blueprint, except that it's now old enough to seem new again. Yeah, I think that's quite a good good comparison, good description, to be honest with you. Instant movie database, yeah, as I said, not quite as high as Rotten Tomatoes, 7.2 out of 10. That's Joe Public, don't forget. That's the people who've been to the cinema and watched this thing, paid money over the counter to go and see it, with verified audience and stuff like this. 18,504 people scored it between 6 and 9. You know, I ignore the 10 out of 10s normally. There's quite a few, and I ignore the 1 out of 10s. There's probably a few less of them. 18,504 were positive, scored it 6 to 9, and just 3,396 scored it between 2 and 5. So overall, 84% positivity, which is reflecting what we've seen on some of those earlier scores. My thoughts, Bernard's thoughts. Yeah, I mean, this seems to be, I will say now, this seems to be a general crowd pleaser. But for me, to be honest with you, the repetitiveness of it all made it feel just a little long and boring. I got a little bit bored with it. It was great to see Neve Campbell, Arquette, Cox, of course. I did enjoy that aspect of it. But for me, that was sort of the best thing about it. As a slasher movie, it works. It definitely works. There's plenty of slashing, but although the constant attempts at jump scares just bored me rigid. I mean, you know, there's only so many times you can open a door, open a fridge door, and expect someone to be standing behind it, or a bang in the background, and you jump. It's just repetitive. As I say, I've been round the block, so perhaps that's why. But I never got scared. I never got the edge of my seat excited. And the problem with that is, I got scared for the reprising roles. Obviously, the guys who've been in it before, but some of the new characters just didn't grow on me. I just didn't care less whether they got slashed or not, to be honest with you. And it came to the point I didn't care less really, and I got a bit bored trying to figure out who the 1 or 2 killers were, because we don't know if they follow the rules, which they don't do all the time in this. Of course, you do things. You think, well, that's not the rules, guys. What are you doing? But then again, it'd be boring, wouldn't it, if they followed the rules? So really, by the time the last segment of the film come, where you sort of get the big reveal, etc., you just got a bit mad and all. It got a bit weary for me. I got a bit fed up of it. Totally mad, not in a good way, but in a bad way for me. I just, by that time, I'd probably had enough and just wanted the film to end. And it wasn't a total disaster. In the same way, I was left a little bit unexcited of the recent Ghostbusters reboot. That, apart from the actors reprising roles that came into it, I felt a little bit bored. It was all a bit repetitive and the same sort of story to me. I've seen it all before. And I just wanted something a little bit new. And I said, that's me. A newer audience who's not seen all these things will probably appreciate it a lot more than I will. But I've been around the block a few times, as I said. So it got a bit monotonous for me. I want to see something a little bit different stuck in there, and there wasn't anything. But if you want just more of the same, you'll love it, because that's what it is. And there's a lot of love out there. So for me, it's a big disappointment, but I fully appreciate people who enjoy it, certainly for a younger horror audience who perhaps haven't grown up with the original Screams or have forgotten about the original Screams and the actual storylines and plots. It will make a nice profit, there's no doubt about that, based on that budget. Well done. For that budget, they did very well, to be honest with you. And that's the whole point of this, and they do hope to make more, but if it's anything like this, I won't be exactly looking forward to it. So I am going to give it a mark. It does deserve a mark, because it was certainly okay, but I'm just going to give it a basic 5 out of 10 for me, just a halfway mark. I wasn't overly impressed. But please let me know what you think anyway. If you're getting a bit older like me, what did you think? Were you a bit bored with it like I was? Or is it, say, demographic-wise, it's probably not aimed at the guys who've been there and done it? As far as a tribute to the old Craven, it probably is. It's a nice little tribute. I say it probably sticks more or less to what the originals were, which is fair enough. But I've been there, done that. I don't want to see it again. I'm a bit tired of it. I want something a little bit quirky, a little bit new. It doesn't have to be all new, just a little bit added to it, and there wasn't really with this, so I was disappointed. Let me know what you think, guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. Whatever you're going to do rest day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. To me here again on the Film and TV channel. I only ask one thing, please, and avoid these slashes and stuff like that. I only ask you all to please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.